I think social dialogue is really key and the key driver of improving labor practices.
A company is a community. People are in management, people are working in the company. And when you want to have a good result as a company, you need everyone. And so you have to talk with everyone.
I think it's very important for every investor to be aware of what social engagement can do for them.
There is a good social dialogue going on in textile producing countries. It can really help to raise wages.
And to make sure, by the way, that we also can live up to our own standards, labor standards, including avoiding excessive working time, avoiding discrimination, all kinds of issues where trade unions representing our employees can be helpful. Different roles: employer, business, our management team, they have their role to play. The labor union, they have their role to play. As long as they are able to bring the different interests together through a constructive dialogue, it will create the win-win situation we are looking for.
It's not just to make sure that the risks from a financial or material perspective are being taken care of, but it's also part of your duty as an investor to also think about the negative impact that your investments might have on the community and the society.
It's so wonderful when parties who may have different interests do come together and seek a theme and a space where there is actually mutual interest. And the mutual interest is just to take care of the planet and take care of workers. I think what is really important is to get these sectoral, industry-wide collective bargaining agreements with a link to international brands, so that they can actually adapt their purchasing practices so that they really enable the wages to increase in the garment sector.
This should be the starting point of improving labor practices, but also sort of the end point, and making sure that the practices are also continued to be developed and to be improved.
And together they have to talk, they have to see each other as partners in the process. And I think trade unions has many times some experience in that and can help better for productive and fruitful social dialogue.